Today I'm going to show you how to make a crane. They're elegant, fun, and easy to make, but take a lot of time and patience to master. So let's get started. Step 1. Fold your sheet in half in every way you can, but make sure you start on the diagonals. The diagonals are going to be the most important folds in this piece. Step 2. Give your sheet a turn and then you collapse it down into a square, which gets a little strange because we take this point, bring it down to the bottom, take this midpoint on the top layer, bring it over here to this corner, make sure this creases in here, have this bottom point nice and sharp, take this point here, bring it down there, make sure this all stays flat, this midpoint, over to here, and then gently make sure that creases. Step 3, we need to bring these edges into the center while keeping this bottom point sharp. Something that I like to do is to bring whatever edge or point I need to bring to a particular spot, and then find where I need to keep a particular point, gently work it through, and then crease from that spot up. And you can do that both sides, holding gently, creasing, and then pressing really hard. Step 4 is to flip over and do that again on the other side, but once you have the creases set on this side, press extra hard so you know that it's gone through on both sides. Step 5, gently unfold these, lift this top layer, and then you're going to take the flaps that you just made there and invert those folds by pushing it through with your fingertips. Don't push too hard because otherwise your paper will remember those creases and it will adjust how the final piece looks. So just gently with your fingertips work it through before you can get it to lie down like this, at which point you can then commit to the crease. Step 6 is to flip it on over and do that again, popping that up and open as gently as possible and pressing through gently with your fingertips, keeping that point sharp and not forcing your paper to do anything that it doesn't want to do. Gently laying it flat, kite shape, and pressing it down. There we go. Step 7 is to gently take this, hold beneath, lift this, gently press it through, crease from the outside going in, flip it over, and repeat on the other side. When you get to the other side, press extra hard just to make sure that it goes through on both sides. Step 8, gently take these bits, bring the edges to that center line, crease, but again, pay careful attention to this point down here. Make sure that it doesn't tear or put too much pressure on itself. Step 9 is to flip it over, bring the edges to the center again, crease, and then crease extra hard once you're done with that. If you're having trouble with that point though, just bring the edge to the center, hold it gently, and just swipe through with your finger until that point gets there, and then crease hard with a nail. For step 10, we have to feel around because there's going to be a bunch of layers up here which end about here-ish before everything tapers off into these 2 points. Then we have to take these 2 points individually, feel for that set of layers, and fold them up before pressing really hard to crease it, because these are going to be the spots where our crane can stand up. Step 11 is to fold these back down, to flip over and fold them back up again, but we want to make sure that we go through that fold again on the other side. That way our crane will stand up a little straighter than it would otherwise. Press as hard as you can because we need to invert these folds in a second. Step 12, we let these down, turn, pop this open, and we pop this up using the folds we just made, flip, and do the same on the other side, giving the basic structure before popping the wings out. Step 13 is your head, your tail, and your finishing touches. What I like to do to pick the head and the tail is to find the one that's standing up more, turn it, find the point about 2/3 of the way up, folding down, putting my thumbnails on that center line, squishing, then releasing and popping it out. Because of the way that you have to fold the head and tail to get it to stand up, they're not usually going to be perfectly symmetrical. But if that's making it so it can't stand right, just gently move things around and wiggle these bits until it can stand. If your wings aren't fully extending, gently tuck your thumbs in here and press, and they should pop out just fine. If you want to hang your cranes instead of displaying them standing up, these spots here will be the center of your paper. So take a sewing needle, pierce it, and drag a thread through it before you start folding, and by the time you're finished, you'll be able to take your thread and hang it from just about anywhere. Another note, if you are going to try to sew through paper, always pre-pierce your holes because otherwise you may run into some trouble later on. Good luck with it!